All right, welcome back. So, Toronto and Tampa. My second preview of the day. This one starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, so that's about 4 hours from when I'm recording this. So we're gonna get right into it. We don't have that much time. We still have 2 more previews to do today. We still have to do the Blues and the Wild and the Kings and the Oilers today, so no time to waste. First of all, here's my bracket once again. A reminder that my bracket challenge video has been uploaded to my channel already in my playlist below, and as well as the Boston and Carolina series at this point. All right, so let's get into it. So Toronto and Tampa, game one's on Monday, May 2nd, which is today, in Toronto at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's start with the Maple Leafs. 54, 21, and 7, 115 points. Their top 6 skaters, Michael Bunting, who is questionable for game one. I have not seen whether he starts in the lineup today or not yet. So, yeah, Matthews, Marner, Kerfoot, Tavares, and Nylander. Their top 4 defense, Morgan Riley, Ilya Lyubushkin, Jake Muzzin, and TJ Brody. Their goaltenders, Jack Campbell, the starter for game one, 31, 9, and 6, 2.64 goals and average, 914 save percentage. Peter Mrazek on injured reserve, so we'll not talk about him. Eric Shalgren, 8-4-1 on the year, 888 save percentage. Power play for Toronto, 27.3%, which is first in the league. Penalty killing 8th in the league with 82.1. Season series, 2-2 tie. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, 51, 23, and 8, 110 points. Their top 6 skaters, Palat, Stamkos, Kucherov, Paul, Point, and Colton. Their top 4 defense, Victor Hedman, Jan Ruda, Ryan McDonough, Eric Chernak. Goaltenders, Andrei Vasilevsky, 39, 18, and 5, 2.49 goals and average, 916 save percentage. And Brian Elliott, 11, 4, and 3, 2.43 goals and average, 912 save percentage. Power play, 23.9%, penalty killing 80.6%. Okay, so let's talk about some storylines here. So obviously, the pressure's on Toronto. These are 2 teams with very different track records, and Toronto has not won a round since 2004. For Tampa, they've won 70 playoff games in the last 7 years. So that's an achievement for sure. It's pretty obvious which team has the more pressure here, and it's Toronto. Last year's breakdown against the Canadiens, I think, really divided the fan base even further than it ever was. And if Toronto loses in the first round with this core for a 6th consecutive year, the city is not going to be happy about it. And we can expect changes in the organizations, calling for Kyle Dubas's head, calls for Sheldon Keefe's head, calls for trades, that's for sure. However, this time, even though they have more points, I think we see them as more of the underdog because Tampa has won 2 straight cups and Toronto is in a very tough spot. So Tampa Bay, they traded Johnson, Coleman, Gord, and Goudreau, which was a dominant third line, and they've replaced that collection of forwards with Ross Colton. They have Corey Perry, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, and Nick Paul, and Brandon Hagel. So in the last 2 seasons where Tampa won the Stanley Cup, they outscored teams by 145 to 125. This season, their goal share has actually improved a little bit, 71 to 60, a 54% in favor of Tampa Bay's forwards, which is good. If we're talking about goaltending, Tampa Bay obviously has the advantage with Vasilevsky in net, although this season has been a down year by his standards. It's his 2nd worst save percentage. Vasilevsky is still a very good goaltender, and they have a good backup as well. For Toronto, it's looked a bit shaky at times. Jack Campbell. Sometimes he allows some bad goals. A little shaky sometimes. Defense a little shaky sometimes in front of him. But Toronto has a lot of speed. They have Ilya Mikheyev. They have a very young defenseman in Liljegren. So they have some benefits that they've added. They have Lyubushkin as well. So on paper, it looks like Tampa Bay has the experience. They have the goaltending. We'll see if Toronto's power play can hold up against Tampa's penalty kill. We'll see if they can beat Hedman. So Toronto, although they've been on a run for the last 9 games, 7-0-2 in Campbell's last 9 starts, Toronto has their work cut out for them. They have expectations, they have pressure, but they're not as favored this time as they were last year, which could benefit them. So here are your top 3 forwards and top 2 defenseman numbers. Matthews, obviously, the Rocket Richard winner with 60 goals in the year, passing the next best forward was Leon Draisaitl. He had more goals than Alex Ovechkin, which is definitely an achievement. Mitch Marner, William Nylander round out those forwards, Riley and Brody for defense. For Tampa Bay, Stamkos also 106 points. Kucherov 69 points in 47 games. The problem with Tampa Bay, I think, is maybe potentially the depth doesn't get a whole lot of points, but Victor Hedman gets a lot of assists with 65 assists, 85 points in 82 games. Definitely more consideration for the Norris Trophy, along with Roman Josi. But yeah, we'll talk about that at a later time. Search have 38 points as well. My prediction here is going to be Tampa in 7. Toronto, a lot of pressure. And I do not think that Toronto deals or bodes well under pressure. And I genuinely do hope that Toronto breaks out of their slump eventually, because I don't think Leafs fans are really having fun during the regular season, because we know how good Toronto is in the regular season, but until they prove themselves in the playoffs, Toronto won't really be taken seriously. So we'll see how Toronto fares against our juggernaut like Tampa Bay, who's, despite not having the most dominant season, I think is still the good old Tampa Bay Lightning that we all fear. All right, so that's going to do it for my video here. Enjoy the hockey coming up, and we'll see you in our next preview. Take care, everyone.